Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of Beginner to Factorum. We are still on the planet, and we are taking our sweet time, to be honest, because I could already go to space with the ship I have right there, but I kind of enjoy what we're doing, so let's focus first on the ground base, and that's going to be the plan. So if we change first person, and let's have a look around to what we did last episode. We built ourselves a refinery and an assembler, all with the modules installed. We connect our rover to that so it can keep doing the resources. We also made a landing pad quickly so that the ship can connect without falling off and breaking. And that's about it. Now we got the power, we got the drill sorting, and that's it. The plan today is I think I would like to set up the foundation of how the base will look. That's going to be number 1, and then we can start with some building up as well. I do have my character ready to do a time lapse today because a lot of it will be welding, so let's focus on that. Another thing I need to do is put a screen, because otherwise I said I would do it last time and I forgot, so let's just do that right now. Let's go to G display, no, LCD. I'm going to take a LCD. You know what? I'm going to take a text panel instead. Text panel. There we go. We should at least have one squared one. Is that? There, okay. I can put it on the back of my bed for the moment. I also installed a few extra mods. One of them is the sleep mod, which only is going to work, of course, as soon we have medical components and silver. Okay, seems like we're out of stuff again. Okay, let me just first of all, refinery. Yep, we're out. We don't have any iron left. That's all the iron we have left. All right, so guess we're going to mine first. Also, I'm going to change the mining ship a little bit. I'm been looking at it, and I think we can definitely improve the look of it. But let's focus first on the base. So I got a display. Let's start with that. I need to change this to show text and images. I think if I now type to do, we're going to start with layout base of operations, then structure base of operations. Does it make sense if I say that? Operations. So the layout is just showing what I want to have as the ground works. Then the structure we're going to build of the base of operations. And then I would like to improve drill ship. That's it for the moment, no? At least now I kind of can double check if I forgot anything. Now the problem probably is going to be that this, what we built here, is going to be in the way. So I think the focus is going to have to be on preparing a location where we can move that to. So I'm going to start with laying out the terrain, a bit of what the size will be and the different locations. I also have decided I would like to split this up. I don't want the assembler and the refinery be in the same rooms or not in the same area. I kind of want to make dedicated areas, so it's going to be a refinery room, assembly room. I think here we're going to have our hydrogen and our oxygen generation plus storage. We need a container as well. So yeah, let me set up my time lapse and then we can start it. All right, so this is going to be a little bit of the outline. We're going to put our landing pad here, I think, in a little bit of this nook here. I'm going to mark the positions, but I think we should have enough because like a tank is 3x3, so 3x3 with some space around it. So then we have a wall, space, and a tank. And the same is going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe. No, it does say 3. So this 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the same. All right. So container can go there. Refineries can go there. We put the assemblers right here. And then later on, we can look into a little, what you call it, habitation rooms as well. Let me just weld this all up. Then mark the spots where we're going to build everything. And then we can look into conveying this all up. Because everything will have to be conveyed to each other and to the drill. So that's going to be the plan. Could we make a better tool? Production tools. No, because we need silver for that. We might have to go and mine silver. If I could just make one more better tool, it might go quicker. So we did have some silver. GPS. Right there. And disconnect. We should be empty. So we got some gold here. We also had silver. We might have to go and mine deeper. There we go. There's silver down there. Alright, so this is silver. This is how it looks like. A little bit like this gray marble almost. We just did a little bit. Let me just check how much we have. We got 1k. Yeah, we can have some more. I just need a bit of silver so we can make our tools. Maybe some medical components so we can build our cryopods. And then the rest might be gold instead. So we just, I don't know. What we will need to do is put some ejectors on this as well. Because we are getting too much stone in our inventory. Alright, so now let's get this refinery to... There we go. I would like a better grinder, a better drill, and a better welder. I seem to be out of iron. Disassembling, I'm gonna put a bunch of these in there so I get some iron back. Yeah, steel plates take a lot of iron. If you have to build anything, actually, interior plates is a better option, and maybe I should think about that. And then go back to assembling. There we go. Alright, so personal inventory. Let's drop these in there now. So, character tools. Grinder. Drill. Welder. So, this is the 2 blocks I welded. Let's go and get some iron, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, I did the circumference. I think, let me see. These we're gonna weld up still as well. But I'm gonna do in the side here, I'm gonna grind these away again, and we're gonna use half blocks instead. This is gonna use less of my resources as well. And it's gonna be a little bit less, you know, welding as well. Another thing I would like to do is actually make this concrete. So if I open up my color, by the way, you can see I got the a new mod installed as well, which is called this build colors, which is allowing me to create a gradient in here. We'll see in a bit, because I'm not entirely sure still how it works. I managed to do one, but it's still a bit of a confusing for me. But for the terrain, I think we're going to go for concrete. I think a dark concrete, like that. I'm just going to color this whole floor like that. I'll just press Control Shift middle mouse button. That control painted everything that is on the same grid. You can see that this is also the same color until here, because that is a subgrid. So what I can do now, I can just copy this over again and just paint this back to the normal colors. Let me recharge. Then we're going to grind out the floors and replace them with half blocks instead. So the sun seems to be going under, so it might be a good moment to test the mod out. So that's going to be one for me and one for my co-pilot. All right, now that it has welded up, let me see. It's daytime, you don't need to sleep. Well, I beg to differ. Once the sun goes behind the mountains, I have no idea anymore what is going on. So you know what, let's just change the day of time and do some more time lapse. I think we are good now. This looks symmetrical. Yep. So this is going to be where our refinery is going to be placed. I was checking the sizes, and I'm not going to be using this one here. There's two reasons for it. This is not mirrored. That means if I build them next to each other, they don't really look nice. I wish there was one like that and a mirrored one. That would just look nicer as a setup. So I'm going to be using the standard one. The advantage of the standard refinery is also that there's a connector on the bottom, which means I will be able to come in from below. And then we can put one here and one here, which I still need to mark. But I will have to move this one first to here. The plan as well is I want to make sure that we don't have the refinery and the assembler in the same region. I want to make different areas. So one is going to be refinery. This is going to be the storage container here. This is going to be the assembly. That's going to be the hydrogen tank, oxygen tanks, and then O2, H2 generation. In the front here, we're going to build a landing pad where then our little miner can connect to, or whatever else, because I will make sure that I can connect either with the back or the bottom. Anything else I want to check before? I think we're good now. We also need to make a power room. We could put a power... No, we know. So I might actually, what we could do is extend this here, or we could make a separate power room here. And then here we could make a living quarters. And then just connect them with some pipes in the bottom and maybe some catwalks. All right, so we did everything we need to do. We got the conveyors sorted out here all for our tanks. We got our conveyors linked up. They're all linked up to the drill, to the assembler, and to the first refinery there, which means we're going to have to move this refinery, or at least build a new refinery on that one, and then move these things over. The thing I would like to do first, though, is actually build our container here, so that we can start transferring this over to the container first, so we don't need to bother too much about the transferring. Now, the conveyor, of course, is out of center. That means I might also have to do this all manually, which might take a little bit of work, but it shouldn't be too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grind this way away so that I can work underneath, and then drill my way to here so we can connect our conveyor to it. So now the both of them have been set up. I'm going to go in here. We're going to go to control panel, and I'm going to go say assembler 2. This is going to be assembler 1, which is the first one. So assembler 2 is going to be in cooperative mode. That means that everything I put in assembler 1, the second one is going to try to help out. And just to make sure that I don't constantly go in here. Did I have any panels here? No, yet. I'm just going to put a panel in front of that. This one here. Just to block it off as at least an initial, like here you do not want to put in production. So if I put in production, it's going to be it's going to always put it in assembler 1. All right, now let's focus on the generators for oxygen and hydrogen. So we're going to start with the generators, and then we're going to put the tanks, and then we can start the drill. What I might do is in the living quarters, we will put some event blocks as well. This is going to be like living quarters / control room. I'm going to put some event controllers that control that once the hydrogen tank is full with ice or full with hydrogen, and these are full, we have to check. It will stop drilling. Or when these 3 are full of ice, stop drilling. That might be a good idea. Because I don't want to be storing all of the ice in the container there. I want to make sure that we still have space. So that it could be that in the future we might have to extend and put another container next to it here. That should be enough. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. Let's start with this and get these going. Alright, so now that we have the O2 generators and the tanks ready, I can just go a little bit down, get some of that ice into these right here. These should normally start filling up. There we go. It's filling up bit by bit, so. Now what I probably would like to do is actually transfer this over in here as well quickly. So let's stop the drill. And let's see if we can drive around and get the hydrogen into this tank here. If I just angle this up a little bit, that should normally work. There we go. 9. So this should now drain my hydrogen tank into this one. And then once that is done, we can then take the hydrogen tank away. All right, so now that we have all the facilities ready, let's focus on a landing pad, which is later is going to connect to the base as well to charge and unlock. I think we're going to put the landing pad nicely in the center here, right in between all the buildings and then also the buildings here. And then after I've done the landing pad, I'm sorry, we're going to change the ship itself and rebuild it. I got some ideas. So let's focus on the landing pad first and let's get this going. All right, so this is the landing pad. This should normally serve pretty well. I think it's nicely located. What might change here is that the pipe is coming from the wall and this one is going into the wall. Well, maybe we just leave it like that and have 2 pipes going into the wall with one in between, just to add some extra industrial feel to it. I'm not sure if I want to use this. Is this battered armor? No, that's battered armor. That's gonna look better. I do think we need to keep it a little bit dirty. 4. Okay, so I noticed in my edit that I actually didn't talk about the paint tool I just had in my hand. I just pulled it out and I explained it during the recording, but I don't find it anymore where. It was somewhere during the time lapse. So first of all, let's talk about how you can make it. If you go to your assembler production and you go to your tools, you will see that the paint gun is right here in the tools, and so is the painting chemicals. Now, to make painting chemicals, you can see you will need gravel. So that's one reason why you want to keep the gravel. To make the paintbrush, you only need iron, nickel, and silicon, which is very basic and easy to make. So you can make the paintbrush as soon you land on the planet. The paintbrush is a mod, of course. You can find it on the workshop. Now, once you have made these, make sure that you have also made paint chemicals, because these are needed every time to make one. When you paint one block, that will use one of those paint chemicals. So in my inventory, you can see I've got 169. That means I can paint 169 times. And then you go to your toolbar, you go to your character tools, and you should be able to just take your paint gun and put it in the toolbar right here. All right. So once you made your paint gun, you can now start painting. And this is just by aiming at the block and then just doing it as if you would be shooting a gun or shooting welding. You can just paint the block. Now, if you want to change the color, you can actually use your mouse wheel to change the color here. And if you do shift, you can change the skin. So shift scroll mouse wheel is the skin and just mouse wheel is the color. Now, if you want to copy over a color here, you can actually do shift P and then just aim and take the skin of the skin and the color of the block, and then you will take over that color as well. So if I do shift P again, then I copy the color by just pressing my left mouse button, I will now be able to just copy that color and paste it over here and just give these the right colors as well. So that's a bit of the basics of the paint mod, in case you are wondering how it works. No, that's not the one. So a little bit dirty pipes. I'm gonna leave that as it is. All right. And then, of course, this is gonna have to link up with the pipe we have here. This could be that we have a pipe going in here into the wall, see, or it goes up and then connects to the center here. For the moment, this is not important what, although I do want to drain my hydrogen, so maybe we should focus on that first. So that way we can actually already block off this pipe like that, so let's do that. Turn you off again now, because I just realized I want to empty my ship in there. Let's grind these away. Alright, so landing pad is done. Everything is connected. Let's connect our ship to that and grind everything away that I don't want to keep, because I'm going to do some changes. The only thing I want to keep is the battery, so I don't need to, don't lose my power cells. Put you on stockpile. So you drain this one here. There we go. Alright, so this is done. Platform is done. The rest is going to be building up the structure itself. The next thing we're going to focus on is on the ship and grind it completely down and rebuild that. So that's going to be the next section now. Also, most likely time-lapsed. Alright, and then I'm gonna put a remote block here, like that, pointing to the front. So the remote block is gonna allow me then to take control over my ship. You never know, if it's somewhere in the air and I fall out and I cannot reach it because my jetpack is out, then I can use the remote block to reach that ship if it's necessary. I'm gonna put 2 event controllers here as well. One is gonna be to control my connector, so if I disconnect or connect, it will turn off some of the functions. Yeah. There we go. And I think we're gonna put the landing gear. I think I probably want to use the same as I did here with these suspensions. Could do this because it does merge in there, so I could put one here and remove that wheel. And do the same again. Put one here and remove that wheel. And then I could probably put one of these like that. And then move that wheel. There we go. So if I now weld this up, how does this look? That looks like a nice, intricate landing mechanism. Now, I cannot put anything underneath here. Do I have the mag plate here? 5. So, I cannot connect this to here because there is no snap point. I can snap it all over the place except on the bottom of the wheelbase. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the half block on here like that. And then here we could put a short one like that, which is going to connect on the bottom of that. And then I should be able to connect my mag plate against that like this. There we go. So that's my landing gear. I like it. Looks much better than whatever we have. I do like the use of the what you call it, these short wheel suspensions, just to create like a nice framework instead of having the wheels. It does make like for this as well. You see the lights. It's like it's part of the light. Makes it look much more cleaner. All right, so this is the upgraded miner. We did some changes to the thrusters. Instead of having them on the outside, I moved them to the inside instead. And I connected my drills in the same line as containers, and we just have a conveyor system connected here. So none of the other conveyor systems are connected to the drill. There's only one here on the side. Anything else? I added 2 extra little hydrogen tanks, an antenna in here. I added a little bit of detailing at the back, not that important. Got some more of these suspensions here as well, just to give it a bit more. The 2 batteries on the back, that stayed the same. I added this as well. This is more of a detail, but a small little thruster here and a small little thruster here, so it looks like an engine, an extra engine here. All right, let's unlock our connector and then change the name of our ship, and we're gonna call it the Pebble Pusher. And then we can go to our inventory and now give them all the prefix of Pebble Pusher. Pebble Pusher space and prefix name. What you see right here, this is another mod. It's called Easy Block Renaming, which allows you to rename in bulk if you want to. You can make suffix, prefix, replace, or even reset names if you want to do so. All right, so now all my things have been named properly. I made sure that they all have the tag, so it's easy for us to recognize which is which. Now, the advantage is, of course, it will show every part that is on the grid as white, and everything that is separate, so from the connector onwards, will be starting showing different. If I would have a subgrid on here, for example, let's say I have a hinge or a piston, and then something connected to it, you will see that it's no longer white, but it's going to show as a different color, which is separate. So that's why you normally like to disconnect your ship and just rename everything, so it's easier to figure out which is which. What I want to do as well, I want to set these tanks to, for example, tanks and batteries, to groups. So we're going to do this here, and we're going to do PB batteries. There we go. Then we also got the hydrogen tanks. 3 of them. PB hydrogen tanks. PBPP, yes. So if I now go to my toolbar, G, I can now put this in here. So I can say, for example, groups, the batteries, recharge on and off. And then the hydrogen tanks we can put on stockpile on and off. So we can see if I'm stockpiling them or if I'm just having them automatically. And now we can also do that with the event controller. So every time I'm disconnecting or connecting, the event controller will control what is happening. So another thing we might want to do is go into our inventory control panel and take all our hydrogen thrusters, put these also in a group. We could also put all the lights together. Light, select all the lights, all of them. There we go. The rest should be fine. You know what I forgot to add is a ejector. Again. And I'm not sure where we could add that without making it look terrible. So the reason I want to add an ejector is because then we can also eject the stone if we are mining for gold or silver or whatever and we don't want the stone in our inventory. We can put an ejector to do that for us. So yeah, for the moment, I think we're going to leave it as it is, and then we can always reconfigure the ship again. Let me just see. I can disconnect again. And what I want to do now, I want to go to my event controller. And I want to set event controller 1, and that is going to be connector, event controller connector, which is going to now check our connector. So we're going to say event. I want this event controller to check if my connector is locked or unlocked. Right? Then we're going to say the available block on this ship is the connector we just have here, PB connected. I'm going to add that to the selected blocks. And now I will be able to go into select actions. Now, what you see on the bottom here, in yellow, this is the build info. You will not have this on your regular play. So be aware of that this is not going to show. Then I go to select actions. And then you will have 2 slots right here. This one, and you have 9 toolbars. So I got 9 toolbars with 2 slots each. Now, if you look at the left here, this again is a build info part, but it is interesting for you to know, is that the first slot, left slot, is when each connector is connected. So when the connector is connected, this is the action that's going to happen. When all connectors are disconnected, which is the right slot, this is the one right here. So if we disconnect, then these actions are going to happen. So that's what you know. So if we now know that this is when it's connected, we can now set up the whole system. For example, I want to put my batteries on recharge on. And if I disconnect, I want the batteries to be recharge off. Now, it might be smarter to just put on enable auto, because if you put it on discharge instead, then it won't change that. So make sure, just set it to enable auto. That way, it's going to turn the batteries back on. Then we go to toolbar 2. We're going to take our hydrogen tanks here. We're going to say when the connector is connected, you can put them on stockpile on. And when it's disconnected, we can then put them on stockpile off. Then go to toolbar 3. And now we have the lights as well. So I can say when it's connected, the lights can be turned off. When it's disconnected, the lights can be turned on. Number 4, another one that I would like to add is my thrusters can be disabled as well. So when we're connected, they turn my thrusters off. When I'm disconnected, turn my thrusters on. Then we go to toolbar number 5. Now we did all the groups. Now we can go in here. And another thing I would like to do is turn off my antenna right here, because otherwise all the antenna spots on your base are going to start collapsing, and it's going to have a lot of antennas when you're nearby, which you don't always want to see all these antenna markers until they are disconnected from the base of operation. So I'm going to say when connected, turn this off. When disconnected, turn it on. There we go. And I think that should be it now. Anything else? And I will now connect my ship to the connector. You will see that my tank went in stockpile, my batteries went on recharge, my hydrogen thrusters went off. You can see my antenna is no longer activated, and also my lights are all disabled as well. So this is a way to save some power and also just reduce the amount of points that are going to be show up on your screen. So what I'm going to do, we're going to recharge, we're going to refuel, and let's go and check out the trading post that we have a GPS point for. Inventory GPS. We had 2 stations. One of them is there. The other one was somewhere on the other side of the planet. So now only what I could do is actually turn off my front thrusters here, and that would reduce the amount of power I'm using, because currently my front thrusters are still fighting against my forward thrust. So yeah, that might be something we want to do. I'm still a bit annoyed with the fact that I didn't think about the ejectors. You see the bubble around it there? That is a safe zone, so we should be okay there. I like the color. So I can connect to this connector if I want to, but I only have 15 minutes if I'm correct. We just see it. Probably is going to say 15 minutes if you There we go. 9. If I now check my connector, disconnect after 15 minutes. See? So after 15 minutes, the disconnecting is going to disconnect. The connector is going to disconnect. Now, the advantage is normally in the you can see I cannot grind or damage anything, and normally the ship will crash. If it falls down off the connector, it will not be damaged because of the safe zone. All right, let's have a look around. We got an ATM. Let's see what. All right, so we got a vending machine, which seems to be selling some. Ooh, lead grinder. How much do we have? I got 10,000. So we could sell some stuff to them. We'll have to see if there's a trading place here. This is contract. So here I could take a contract and then get some money for it. And here is the store. All right. So the store, I can sell them items. That is going to give me quite a lot of money if I play it smart. So price per unit. This could give me quite some money. 39 pieces. This could give me 630 units. Radio components, power cells, magnesium powder. So we could get some money. These refresh, by the way, so be aware of that. I don't know. I don't see a timer, so. And they also sell stuff, so I could buy the elite grinder. I could buy some hydrogen, med kits, and so on. Honestly, most of this we can make. I'm going to take some of this. You can keep that. There's some toilets. Bob would be happy. There's some beds. I'm just going to check inventory. There we go. I got some credits in the bed. Let me see in here. Nice. Even more credits. That's 14k already. Got some guns. Got a flare gun. See the other side. Wow. This is a pretty decent location for money. All right. Good. So there should be an ATM on the other side. So here I can say, please add my 23k. 23,000 deposit. There we go. And then I can say also the 615 deposit. There we go. So that is now my account balance. I got 33,615. All right, so this was interesting for if you need credits and such, but I'm really not bothered that much. And most of the things you can do, actually, you can find by yourself. So let's get back home. So this was a decent flight, and we are less than halfway, which is good. So we could definitely do some flying around if it's empty. If it's full, that's going to be a different story. This is going to be the power storage. Let's do that as well. Power and engine rooms. Here we can go underneath. So I'm going to dig underneath the ice to connect to the connector of the tank there. So we can start putting some hydrogen engines here as well, and our batteries. And that should be then at least already a good backup power source. So let's clean up a bit. Great job. Nice. Just pick up the pieces. We're just gonna dig straight underneath here. Alright, so there we have our pipe, which I can now continue through. Alright, so let me just put the block in between there, and then we should be able to connect. We'll see. Let me just weld this up. Alright, so this is one grid, so we're fine. We only need conveyors until here, I think. And then we could put our batteries here in a couple. 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe put them on top of each other as well. So, like that. And then we put our batteries here and here. And then our conveyors are going to go left and right, so we can have 2 engines left and right as well. And I think 2 engines are enough to have like a backup whenever we need extra power. You never know. We shouldn't be into too much trouble if we keep a wind turbine farm, which I might connect in that way. Alright, so that's 6 batteries. That should be a good backup whenever these get damaged or have a bad weather. So we have 6 batteries now. We can then put the engines there later. Next is going to be a little bit planning out the living area. What I might do, because I need to go and mine, I will first build the modules here. And I will put a yield module as well. So we are sure that we are getting a little bit more yield out of our resources. I might actually, now that we have 2 of them, remove the speed modules and just make yield modules instead. Or we could put 1 power module. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. All right, let's get the modules out. So 6. We're going to start with the power module. Then we're going to put a speed module. And then these 2, these are going to be yield modules. And you know what? I'm going to put them like that. That looks cool. Alright, so we at least have 1 yield module. So what we might do is turn this one off. And for control panel, I'm going to turn this off so that all the gold goes to that. So at least the yield module gives a little bit more gold. Yeah. So I think that's going to be the plan next, is to get gold to ensure that we can get our yield modules sorted out. So I'm going to jump in my ship. I'm going to mine some gold, drop it in there. Then in the meantime, go and mine some iron. You know what I forgot to put on my toolbar? You know what I'm considering is to make a module that we can just hang on the back of our ship that ejects stone. You just connect your ship to it and it ejects stone when you connect it to your ship. Wow. That was great work. Great. A little bit aggressive when I came out of the hole. Now let's fix our ship first. So connect. In the meantime, we can fix these. Let's check the refinery. Refinery is doing the gold. The stone should already be done, it seems, then. All successfully withdrawn. Give us more gold, please. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, now we got yield modules on that. If you now check the inventory here, you will see info control panel. We're now having a yield rate of 140%. That means we are getting 40% more yield out of the resources we are refining. So that's not bad. So now we can just mine some iron, nickel. I think we're good on silicon. You know where we could put an ejector? Right up there. I think the only way to get ejectors in here is by getting rid of the 2 extra hydrogen tanks I provided here. And now, honestly, I think that is the least of my problems. Okay, I'm going to grind them away a little bit so they can leak. And then we move our gyroscopes on top, and then we will have a place to put a connector here that ejects stone out of it. Yeah, that's only going to be 2 ejectors, but that's going to be better than none. That's where my gyroscope went. There we go. So we're going to put these gyroscopes next to my... Because here we need a conveyor sorter. So I'm going to put the conveyor sorter with the arrow like that. Need interior plates. Let's get some. So we're going to put 1 conveyor sorter here and 1 conveyor sorter here. Then on that we're going to put an elbow. Elbow. So 1 here. And 1 here. And then here we put our gyros back. 1 here and 1 here. What I could do is put a T here, but it doesn't make a difference. We are not in space with it anyway, so that's okay. So we're just going to put now on the bottom here, I'm going to put 2 connectors. Oh, you know what I just realized? We do have connectors with an angle. Holy moly. Well, yeah, it's okay. So, connector. We're looking for the small one, like that. 1 here and 1 here. And these will serve as my ejectors. There we go. So these now will serve as my ejectors, and it's not bad. I like the positioning, so that's good. All right, so now we just need to set it up. So I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to fly forward a bit. Let's go into our inventory and check our control panel. And in the bottom here, we should find all the ones we just installed right here. So let's start with just adding the gyroscope and give them the initials PB space prefix. There we go. So these are now sorted out again. And now we can focus on setting up the sorters. Now, if you look at the sorters, you will see that I can set up the blacklist and the whitelist. But if I make them in a group, I won't have that option anymore. So I'm going to have to do them one by one. So what we want to do, we want to make sure first that we are setting this filter mode to whitelist. So whitelist, because what do we want to do? We want to make sure that the conveyor is sorting out the items we don't want to keep. So whitelist means pass through, blacklist is block. So we want to whitelist 2 resources, and that's going to be stone and ice. So we're going to select ice right here, and we're going to add it to the active filters. And we're also going to take stone, which is somewhere here. And we're going to add that to the filter as well. So now these 2 are added to the whitelist, which means that is allowed to pass through the sorter, the conveyor sorter. And we're going to do the same here. We're going to go to whitelist. And then here we add again ice and stone. So these are now added to those sorters. We're now going to select them both, and that way I can just say drain all. So that is now going to just drain everything through the conveyor sorters that is whitelisted. I think that's okay. And then we have these small inset connectors here. We're going to group these as well, or just select both of them. And here we're going to say collect all and throw out on, like that. So now these connectors are going to throw everything out that passes through these 2 conveyor sorters. Another thing we want to do now is we want to group these, and we want to give them also the prefix PB. And I also want to group these and call them ejection system. Like that, save. And then we're going to go to our event controller. Connector. We're going to select actions and we should be in, I think it's 6. We are in 5, 6. Yep. And what we want to do, we want to make sure that if we connect our ship to this connector here, or whatever connector we do, the ejectors also are turned off. Otherwise, they're going to withdraw everything from our base into our ship through the connectors and throw it out. So we want to make sure that when the connector is connected, we're going to turn this ejection system off. And when they are disconnected, we're going to turn this ejection system on, like that. And that's all we need to do. So now we can just fly back. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this group in here so I can actually see if it's on or off. So now we can see it is on. If I connect, it has been turned off. Perfect. All right. So now the ejection system has been set up. Pretty happy with what we did. I'm going to jump in my ship. We're going to mine some iron, test this out, see if the stone gets ejected. And I think we're going to call it here for today. And then for the next episode, focus on expanding the base and making it a little bit more covered. So let's jump in and let's go. So let's see if we actually are ejecting the ice that we are collecting. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We are now weighing 80,000. Let me see. How much ice do we have in here? Yeah, ice seems to be ejected, so that's good. We are 80,000 with iron now, so that's a good storage already. Let's get out of the hull. Connect to the ship. Heavy, heavy, heavy. So be careful when we're going down that we are having some trouble with keeping this lifted. So the speed we're going down, we should control it. So yeah, as I said, this is going to be the end of the episode for today. We're going to be continuing the build next episode. In the meantime, I'm going to do some more mining, just get some resources sorted so we don't have to do this on the recording next time. Now, if you enjoyed the episode today, then a thumbs up would be highly appreciated. If you have any suggestions or comments, then of course you can drop them in the comments below. And I will see you again next time. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.